Hello, and welcome to another week of Obscure Undead Music Reviews. You may notice there was no news again this week. I guess we can just shoehorn it in here because we only really had one thing, and I guess that one thing is Bandcamp is continuing Bandcamp Fridays through December. So that means that you should probably pick up the albums we're talking about, if you're so inclined, because the first Friday of every month is all proceeds, no platform fees to the artist. So, let's get to talking about the album that we are going to cover this week. We are going to be talking about Black Angel's latest release, Kiss of Death. This is their sophomore release. It just came out on July 31st, 2020. It follows up their first album, which was called The Widow, which was from... when was it?
Widow? Oh, it's right here. Oh, well, they did release.
Well, they released it much later on Bandcamp. It was up on Amazon for the longest time before. I want to say it's from early
from October 2019, and then they released the extended deluxe version.
No, it came out sooner than that. Oh well, but it came out earlier in the year 2019 on Amazon, and then they eventually started uploading their stuff to Bandcamp, which is great, and that is where you can find Kiss of Death. So I really loved the way that this album started out.
I like the way it started out.
Yeah, because there was
another front-loaded.
Well, there wasn't an intro track, but the first, however long of the first track was, instrumental build-up, really nice.
It was a slow crawl intro, and then the song just kicks in.
And the song just kicks in, and it is...
Kiss of Death. That's the first track, called Kiss of Death.
Yeah.
And Black Angel... Basically, they came out of 80s UK goth. So you're going to hear a lot of those elements.
So what we like to call goth and roll.
Goth and roll. You'll see a lot of instruments and sounds and melodies inspired by dark 80s rock. You'll have your retro guitar, your chorus wailing in the background, the Pamela Morrison in the background.
Yeah, they had
on all the tracks, but not actually her. It's their version of her.
You say Pamela Morrison?
What is her name? Patricia?
Yes.
Morrison?
Yes.
Shit. Sorry. Sorry.
But it is very much in the spirit of 80s goth, Sisters of Mercy. And with the exception of a couple of tracks, which we will get to in a little bit. But all of these songs are very jammable.
Jammable. There's some club-worthy, goth dance floor tracks here.
I would say that's most of them. Which ones do you think are club-worthiest?
Probably near the top of the album, I love Animal. That's track 2.
Animal, yeah.
Alchemy is a little bit on the slower side, but still has a really nice melodic groove.
Mm-hmm.
And then Prisoner of Love. There are a couple that are very much inspired by Sisters of Mercy, but they just don't have the energy that Sisters of Mercy tracks tend to have. That would be, for me, Call the Night and Put Your Lips on Me. No, Call the Night and Want for More. Sorry, that was the second one.
Well, they had a very Sisters of Mercy vibe, but you say that they don't have the same energy. I would argue that, because I feel like they do have the same energy, just in a different, they do have energy just in a different way, because this isn't just, the whole album isn't just a rehash of the 80s sounds. It's definitely very modernized.
Yes, I feel like they have their own original sound, inspired by those elements. But those two that I mentioned, the Call the Night and Want for More, it did sound like a rehash to me. Just all of those elements were there. You know, you have your Sisters of Mercy sing along, you have your Wailing Woman in the background.
I think it might have been the Wailing Woman in the background that did it for you.
It totally, like, I was just like, oh my God, please let me out of this church music. Like, there's no... Sometimes I'm definitely in the mood for it, but I actually don't think I'm gonna ever be in the mood for it again. I'm kind of done with the sound of, you know, it's almost like there were a lot of songs in that time in the 80s that it was late 80s, maybe early 90s, that just had that, like, the end just keeps going and going and going. Let's just go with the chorus over and over and over because you want to dance to a 7.5 minute song. I'm done with that.
Well, fortunately, there's also a lot of sound variety on this album because you have tracks like Put Your Lips on Me, which has kind of, you know, like a rockabilly vibe to it.
Gothabilly.
Gothabilly. Okay, I can get into this. Gothabilly is just psychobilly with the word goth on it, and this is not what I would call psychobilly because it isn't quite fast enough.
It's rockabilly with the word goth on it. Psychobilly is an extension of rockabilly. Gothabilly is an extension of rockabilly.
No, Gothabilly is just another name for psychobilly named after one of the 90s compilations that got put out called Gothabilly, but has actually nothing to do with being a genre on its own.
Well, the internet has been using it as an extension of rockabilly.
Yeah, it's just another name for psychobilly. It's not a standalone genre is what I'm saying.
No, it's not. It's totally made up, just like all the other genres.
No, genres aren't made up. Genres are defined by sound.
There are several genres that are defined by sound, but as time goes on, we are overwhelming the internet with even more. So now you've got
not
4 or 5 that are solid, and then you've got like 25 that are made up. So all of those.
Gothabilly is not a genre.
No.
It's just another word for psychobilly. I can tell you why later. But no, it's named after a compilation album filled with psychobilly. But
it's got a goth rockabilly sound.
Sure. I completely lost my train of thought.
It was the track Hurricane that has those kind of elements.
And Put Your Lips on Me.
I did not like Hurricane as much.
No, I liked Put Your Lips on Me better when it came to this sound.
I love Put Your Lips on Me a lot. She Said was the first track I listened to, actually, because we played it last week on the radio. That was nice, but it doesn't have as much personality as the other tracks on the album.
Which is kind of surprising because this is one of the single tracks for the album.
Yeah, I don't know why they would pick that one.
How did you feel about the track Black Angel?
You know how I feel about the track Black Angel.
Oh, I know exactly how you feel about the track Black Angel.
I was like, all right, let's check out this self-titled, self-banned track, Black Angel. And I'm like, and it just kicks it off with some good old saxophone.
I loved it so much.
No!
And I knew you would hate
I'm like, why? Why
sax? Because what is more 80s than random goth sax?
It is, but I'm like, can we get the sax out of the way so I can just listen to the song? And it's like,
no, this track has such a Lost Boys vibe to me, and I know the reason for it is the sax, and I love it.
If I can go back and imagine Tim Capello shaking his little hips, then maybe. But yes, it's definitely got it's going for that Lost vibe, reach your hand in the air 80s thing.
Yeah, that I don't know. I do feel as though Black Angel were able to kind of encapsulate the sound of 80s rock and 80s goth in one 10-track package.
It's got a lot of campiness.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of 80s unrequited love songs.
Oh yes, so 80s.
So at first I was like, oh my God, all these love songs. So you were saying that too. But when you think about it, that's what 80s rock was. That's what Echo and the Bunnymen was, and Psychedelic Furs, and the Cults. And, it's just it went on. And that's
oh my God, so many The Cult vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, they did list the Cult as one of their inspirations. I heard a lot of Gene Loves Jezebel and maybe Love and Rockets. Cheesiness, but also drama, and you have to smile at some of these.
Mm-hmm. I actually do like this release better than I liked The Widow. Even though Lie to You off The Widow is still one of my favorite sing-along tracks currently.
Oh, but you know what? They also had Poison was really good, and She was good, and Creeper was good. Their last album was pretty solid.
Yeah, no, The Widow was pretty solid, and I think I like Kiss of Death better.
I think I'm going to listen to them side by side, which I did not get a chance to do today.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to listen to them side by side because my memory of it, because it was a year ago. It was more than a year ago. This one has more of that goth rockabilly interspersed.
It does,
throughout.
and they have a different vocalist for this album as well.
Oh, I liked this vocalist a lot. I liked the, I guess it was kind of like an echo on his vocals, or like a dual vocal kind of vibe.
Yeah, that was something I didn't expect. Is the reverb on the vocals? Like I was listening to that and I was thinking, oh, this is a really interesting choice, because you don't often hear this style of vocals over this style of music reverbed so much, but it worked, and I really liked it.
Sound like big bandy, like it sounds like a whole band, and there probably is a whole band. I don't know how many people are in this band, but it sounds like everybody's participating when you have a booming voice like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's something I love. I love my reverb.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad you brought that up, because I almost forgot to mention that, and that was kind of one of the things that I was like, that's a little different, but I like it.
I do also like their artwork. Their artwork can go either direction. It's kind of like dark wavy looking, or it wasn't what I was expecting with the artwork. But sure, they can go that direction. Every single that they put out has a totally different vibe as far as the artwork.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. The She Said kind of has a Bauhaus vibe, and
Animal has your 90s lips just on the album cover.
Right, and then Put Your Lips on Me, that single has a cover that looks like an old horror novel cover from the 70s or 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have influence from all over.
Clearly, yeah.
They put it to work.
Yeah, but we definitely recommend that you go check this album out. It was, it's great. It's cheesy, nostalgic in a really fun, modernized way, and we feel like they draw on a lot of elements, but really make it their own. So go check it out. We will put a link in the description. Let us know if you liked or disliked the album. For all we know, you guys might hate it, or you might like it better than us, or you might hear shit in it that we did not. If you have any comments, leave those down below. We really want to hear from you. Otherwise, check us out on our social media links, also in the description, where we have our schedule of events that we do throughout the week, and check us out there. We're usually on Twitch Wednesday, Thursday, and Fridays. And as always, a massive thank you to all of our Patreon supporters. We do really mean it every single week when we say that we cannot make this show without you. And if you would like to join our Patreon supporters, the link is in the description below. We would love to see you on our Discord server. We have a whole server behind 2 general live stream channels that we moderate as well. And we have a fun time talking music and cats and cats. Cats.
Kitty cats.
All right, so that just about wraps it up for this week.
Thank you.
Love you, bye.
Bye.